Let me be absolutely clear from the very start: what we are discussing here is not a rumor, it is not a baseless prediction from a fringe forum, and it is not a recycled piece of hope from years past. What we are seeing today, right now, as you are watching this video, is a tangible, verifiable, and seismic shift in the narrative surrounding the Iraqi dinar. For decades, the promise of a revaluation, the RV, has been a specter on the horizon, a dream deferred for millions of investors who have held onto these notes with a faith that has been tested time and time again. We have endured false starts, cryptic messages from gurus, and political delays that have stretched from years into decades. But today, something is fundamentally different. The context has changed in a way that is both undeniable and, for the first time, backed by the cold, hard data of the global financial infrastructure. The reason we are having this conversation with such a heightened sense of urgency is because the dinar has been spotted on the terminals of the two most powerful and respected financial data providers on the planet, Bloomberg and Reuters. This is not a sighting on an obscure bank's internal rate sheet or a whisper from a source in Baghdad. This is the currency appearing on the very screens used by hedge fund managers, central bankers, and forex traders to execute billion-dollar trades in real time. The appearance here is a quantum leap in legitimacy. It signals that the Iraqi dinar is being treated not as an exotic, non-tradable currency, but as an asset that is on the verge of being fully integrated into the global monetary system. Think about what that means for a moment. These platforms do not simply add currencies for fun. Their entire business model is predicated on providing accurate, actionable, and timely data to the most demanding financial clients in the world. The inclusion of the dinar, even if the rates are not yet live or are displaying placeholder information, is a deafening signal that the back-end preparations for a liquidity event are underway. It means the technical plumbing, the codes, the protocols, the international agreements that allow for the seamless exchange of currency is being activated. This is the digital equivalent of seeing a new product being stocked on the shelves of every major supermarket before its official launch date. The product is there, the barcode is scanned, the system recognizes it. They are just waiting for the corporate command to start the sale. And in this case, the sale is the revaluation of the Iraqi dinar. This move from the theoretical to the practical, from the whispered to the displayed, represents the single most significant development in this entire saga since the initial invasion of Iraq. It moves the conversation out of the shadows and into the blinding light of the mainstream financial world, a world that operates not on hope, but on data, and the data is now screaming that something monumental is about to happen. The dam of silence and obscurity is breaking, and the first cracks are appearing on the most watched financial screens in history. This is the validation we have been waiting for, not from a blogger or a YouTuber, but from the very institutions that form the bedrock of global capitalism. They are preparing for the RV, and their actions are the most credible confirmation we have ever received. Now, let's dismantle the immediate skepticism because it is a healthy and necessary exercise. The first question any rational person would ask is, could this be a glitch? A simple error in the system? The answer is a resounding and definitive no. The software architecture and data integrity protocols at Bloomberg and Reuters are the Fort Knox of financial information. They are designed with multiple layers of redundancy and verification to prevent exactly this kind of error. A currency does not just accidentally appear on a live terminal. Its inclusion requires a deliberate and coordinated effort involving the data provider itself, the central bank of the country in question, in this case, the Central Bank of Iraq, and the international standards organizations that govern currency codes. This was an intentional act. The second and more critical question is, what does this mean for the rate? What number are they showing? This is where we must exercise a level of strategic patience and understanding. The current display, or the lack of a specific, tradable rate, is not a sign of failure. It is a sign of an ongoing process. In many of the sightings, the dinar is listed with a code, but the rate field may be blank, show zeros, or display a placeholder rate. This is perfectly consistent with the final stages of a system-wide rollout. The infrastructure is being primed. The asset is being recognized by the system globally. The final variable to be input is the new, revalued exchange rate. This is akin to a company preparing for its initial public offering on the stock market. The ticker symbol is reserved and appears on tickers days or weeks before the IPO, but the price field remains blank until the moment the opening bell rings and the first trade is executed. What we are witnessing with the dinar on Bloomberg and Reuters is the financial equivalent of that ticker symbol reservation. The global system is reserving its spot, acknowledging its imminent arrival as a serious, traded currency. The silence on the specific rate is, paradoxically, the loudest part of the entire message. It tells us that the rate is the final, most sensitive piece of information, the one that will be released with precision and coordination to avoid absolute chaos in the markets. The fact that the Central Bank of Iraq has been working relentlessly to meet the international prerequisites for a stable currency, curbing inflation, building foreign reserves, and pushing for financial transparency and de-dollarization, provides the fundamental backbone to this technical sighting. The technical event on the screens and the fundamental progress on the ground in Iraq are converging at this exact moment in time, creating a perfect storm for a revaluation. This is not one isolated signal. It is the confluence of multiple independent data points all pointing toward the same inevitable conclusion. The train has left the station, and its arrival on the global financial platforms is the announcement that it is now entering the final terminal. So, where does this leave you, the holder of the dinar, the person who has waded through the silence and the noise? It leaves you on the precipice of a financial transformation that is now being acknowledged by the very system you sought to profit from. This is the moment where your patience is transitioning into potential. The sighting on Bloomberg and Reuters is the bridge between the theoretical investment and the tangible asset. Your journey is no longer a solitary one. You are now joined by the entire architecture of the global financial market, which is actively preparing for the same event you have anticipated. This changes everything. It means that the liquidity, the ability to easily and quickly exchange your dinar for other currencies at the new rate, is now being guaranteed by the most powerful platforms in existence. The question is no longer if, but when, and the when appears to be measured in days, not years. The systems are going live. The digital groundwork is laid. The world is being prepared. Therefore, your task now is not to hope, but to prepare. You must have your action plan ready. Know exactly which banks or currency exchange services you will use, understand their policies on exotic currencies, have your documents in order, and be ready to act with clarity and purpose when the official announcement is made. Do not be caught in a panic of indecision. This is the final stretch. The light we have seen at the end of the tunnel for so long is no longer a distant pinprick. It is the brilliant, undeniable glare of the global financial spotlight now shining directly on the Iraqi dinar. The world is about to witness what you have known was possible all along. The revaluation is not just a dream, it is a process, and that process, as of today, is being broadcast live on the screens that move the world's money. Stay vigilant, stay informed, and get ready. Your moment is here, but your journey with this information does not end here. If this breakdown has given you clarity and confidence, then you need to be a part of this community. Do not navigate these final, critical hours alone. Smash that like button right now to solidify this knowledge. Subscribe to the channel with notifications on so you are the very first to know the second the official rate is confirmed, and most importantly, share this video with every single person you know who is holding dinar. We are stronger together, and by sharing this verified, data-driven information, you are not just spreading news, you are preparing your entire circle for the life-changing event that is now, undeniably, at our doorstep.